In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bet slate for Wednesday, March 6th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Wednesday NBA bet slate, March 6th. We're going to deep dive into this very, very soon. But guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about the Patreon. We're going to touch on that very, very soon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel. Current subscribers at 1.66 thousand subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Continue to show love and support. The goal is going to be 2,000. All right, 2,000. We're shooting for the stars. All right. So 2,000 is going to be our goal. Continue to smash that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, likes and comments are going to help hugely towards the YouTube algorithm. If you're not subscribed right now, why don't you just smash that subscribe button? You got free content right here, and show some love and support. All right. Now, for the Patreon, today was okay. It was okay. All right. We were 66%. We were 4 out of 2. Okay, 4 out of 2. If you want to go on my main selections that I had Magic money line. The Celtics somehow blew a 22-point lead with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Jason Kelsey and they retired his jersey, and they had Joey Chestnut at halftime. They was having a ball in Cleveland. They were having a ball. All right. They wound up messing up. He came through. 76ers lost. Hawks came through as an underdog and outright won, and Pelicans came through. So 4 out of 2 in the selections. Guys, if you want these winning bets, sign up for the Patreon right now and don't miss out. We're going to get ready for NCAA tournament, March Madness. That's coming up, and obviously the stretch run of NBA getting into the NBA playoffs. And that future for the NBA finals will be dropped this weekend. Okay, so it gives you some time before the season ends. All right, and I'll have my future bet in there. First up on the slate, we have the Orlando Magic yet again kicking off the slate. 36-26, going up against the Washington Wizards here, the 9-52 Washington Wizards. We're looking at the money line here. If you want Magic, -275. If you want the Wizards, +230. The point spread is at a 7.5 on both sides, with the total being 224.5 points. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage, 85% of the bets, 90% of the money on Orlando. 67%. Now they just changed. 69% and 69% of bets and money on Orlando to cover that spread, with 67% of the bets, 62% of the money on that total of 224 to go over. All right. Now, some injury news. Magic is they're completely fine. On the Wizards side, Marvin Bagley, their starting power forward, is going to be out of this game. Okay. So they're going to be looking towards Rashawn Holmes or whatever scrub they got coming off that bench. Marvin Bagley is out of this game. That's going to hurt them down low with Wagner and Paolo Banchero that they got. Paolo Banchero, who they got down low. All right. Looking at previous matchups, we have pretty much 3-0 so far. They're going for a sweep. The Orlando Magic are going for a season sweep, a series sweep here. First game was 259 points. Second game was 255 points. And you had the third game at 246 points. So all these games went well over the 224. So that's why they're giving you some leeway here, 224.5. So I would lean towards the over at 224, just going by the past games that you've seen from Washington. And they don't play defense. The only way they can try to win is they're going to try to attempt to outscore you. All right. You're going to have a bad shooting game. But with the Wizards, they just make too many mistakes. So money line, love the money line here, -275. Magic going right back at that well. And looking at the point spread, okay, Magic are like one of the number one teams against the spread. They're 20-13 away against the spread, and they're 19-5 as favorites against the spread. So there's going to be a clean sweep. Money line, point spread, and the over 224.5. We're all over the Magic. Next up, we have a little bit, not even marquee matchup. These two teams are hampered with injuries here. Cleveland Cavaliers, 40-21, going up against the Hawks, who are 27-34. Both of these teams are on the back end of a back-to-back, so it's going to be equal there in stamina, okay, for both of these teams here. The current line right now is Atlanta as a favorite at -1.5. Obviously that money line is going to be around that 115 range, okay, if you're taking the Hawks, and then at -110 for the Cavaliers. The total is at 217.5 points, okay, just letting you guys know that right now. Now we're going over back to Yahoo. We can check the total. 73% of the bets and 69% of the money on the over of 217.5. All right, there's no data here so far on the money line and point spread. That's why I had to switch over to ESPN. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Donovan Mitchell is going to miss another 2 more games. All right, other than that, the Cleveland Cavaliers are fine, and they just had a huge win over the Boston Celtics somehow, whatever. They came back from 22 points. Okay, cool. Now, on the Atlanta side, Trae Young is out, and everyone else is healthy for the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta is now home in this matchup here, going against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so far, the Hawks are down 3-0 in the season series here against Cleveland. They lost to them by 23, they lost to them by 8, and they lost to them by 21. All right, so they've been getting their butts kicked. And this is the final matchup here, and this is an opportunity to get a little bit of revenge, okay? That's why you see the line at a -1.5. I think this is going to be a little bit of a trick here. First for the total, we had 233. We had, where is it now? 233 in the first game. If this would right. 233 in the first game. Then we had 246 in the second game, and then we had was that 211 in the third game. All right, so majority of games went towards the over of 217.5. The 2 overs was in Cleveland. The under was in Atlanta. We have a game in Atlanta here. We're talking about a team both decimated by injury. No Donovan Mitchell on one side, no Trae Young on the other. We're going to be going against the public here, all right? A lot of people are going to be hammering that Cleveland line, and I think that's going to be a trap. That's going to be a trap there. I get it. They just beat the Boston Celtics. I 100% understand. But the Atlanta Hawks are no slouch at all. DeJounte Murray is going to be stepping up his game with Bogdanovich, Sadiq Bey, and Jalen Johnson. These are no slouches here, okay? And this is why Vegas set that line as Hawks as favorites, okay? So we're going to go with the Hawks to win this game on the money line. We're going to trust them. We're going to trust them on the money line, and we're going to take the under 217.5 points, okay? Let's move on to the next game. Next up, we have the Los Angeles Clippers going up against the Houston Rockets here. Clippers are 39-21, with the Houston Rockets being 27-34. Looking at the line, if you want the Clippers, -250 on the money line. You can get the Clippers. For the Houston Rockets, they are +200. This team is very strong at home, all right? Do not forget about the Houston Rockets home record, all right? Point spread is at 6.5 on both sides, with the total at 224.5, okay? Now, going at the public line, public bet, excuse me, 92% of the bets, 89% of the money all over the Clippers, 78% of the bets, 80% of the money on the Clippers to cover the spread, and you have the over-under at 61% and 58% towards the over 224.5. For the Clippers, Russell Westbrook broke his hand a couple games ago, so they're going to be without him. So guys like Norman Powell, Amir Coffey, they're going to have to step up in the absence of Russell Westbrook. For the Houston Rockets, they are pretty much healthy. There's no issues with the Houston Rockets on their side, okay? Looking at the previous matchup, this was November 17th. This game was a total of 206 points, and the Houston Rockets lost. Now, this could be a little bit of a revenge spot here. Rockets back home, going up against a little bit of a depleted LA Clippers team here. But the Clippers are coming off an embarrassing loss to Milwaukee, where they lost to Milwaukee without Giannis Antetokounmpo, and they pretty much got beat by Dame Lillard and Pat Bev. All right. So, and on the other side, you have the Houston Rockets, who are on fire, beat the Phoenix Suns, and then beat the San Antonio Spurs, who Spurs were on a roll as well with Victor Wembanyama. So right now, we're going to stay away from this money line on the Clippers side. I'm not going to pay minus 250 when I can just get the points here. I already know how strong the Houston Rockets are at home. Give me the plus 6.5. You want to bump it up a point or two, you can. I think that's a solid option there. And then you have the total at 224.5. I'm going to lean my under of 224.5 in this particular game between the Rockets and Clippers. So Rockets plus 6.5 and lean towards the under. Next up, we have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 21-41, going against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are 35-26. You have the 76ers on the back end of a back-to-back here. They just lost to the Brooklyn Nets, and now they're going back home to face Memphis. Looking at the line, you can get the 76ers at minus 210 on the money line, with the Grizzlies, if you want them on the money line, at plus 170. Point spread on both sides is at a 5.5, with the total at being at 209.5. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage, 93% of the bets, 94% of the money on Philly to win. 74% of the bets, 71% of the money on Philly to cover the 5.5. And we have 79% of the bets and 51% of the money on the over 209.5. Right now, the injury news, we have to wait on news for Zaire Williams and Jaren Jackson. Jaren Jackson right now is questionable. All right, so stay tuned to the injury report there if he can go through practice before the game. And then obviously that changes things a little bit. He's the main key factor there for the Grizzlies as a little spark plug, and that could be definitely a bright sign for the Memphis Grizzlies going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. On the 76ers side, they have a little bit of an issue here. D'Anthony Melton is still out. Tyrese Maxey's probably going to miss this game. He just was put in concussion protocol, so he might miss a couple games, all right? Trying to get back and ready for the 76ers. Looking at the previous matchups, this is their first time meeting so far this year. And right now, looking at the past 5 games, you had the Grizzlies split a series between the Brooklyn Nets, and then just pretty much get destroyed by the Trailblazers somehow. And the 76ers, on the other hand, Jekyll and Hyde. They beat Dallas but lose to Brooklyn. So we got 2 untrustworthy teams. So I got to go with the talent, all right? I got to go with the talent. I'm just going to take the minus 210 on the 76ers side. I'm going to stay away from the spread of 5.5. Just give me the win. Just give me the win, and this could be a very ugly game here. Wait on news about Jaren Jackson as well. And if you're going towards the total of 209, it's very specific. And I would go towards the over, but that's a pretty accurate line. That's what I expect. 205 to 210 in that range. These two teams might fall in right in there, right in the middle of those numbers. But I'm going to lean towards the over 209.5. But the main play is 76ers money line. All right, let's move on to the next game. Next up, we have a West Coast, East Coast battle here. Chicago Bulls 29-32 going up against the Utah Jazz, who are 28-35. Looking at the line of odds here, Bulls, you can get them on the money line at minus 160. Utah Jazz, you can get them at a plus 135. Looking at the point spread, we're at a 3.5 on both sides, with the total points at a 224.5. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 53% of the bets, so 53% of the bets are on Utah, 77% of the money is on the Bulls. All right. For the point spread, 61% of the bets and 63% of the money is on the Bulls to cover 3.5. And we have bets in the money over 70% towards the over 224.5. Okay. Looking at the injury report, the main injury here, obviously Zach LaVine's been out for a while. Patrick Williams has been out for a while. It's going to be on the Utah side with Keontae George. Their young shooting guard here, who's very good from the 3-point line. He has an illness right now. He's questionable right now. Illness, questionable to play against Chicago. George gave it a go on Monday after initially being listed as questionable, but had to exit the game after 6 minutes. Okay, it is unlikely that he plays and exits early 2 games in a row, but it's something that managers should keep in mind. All right, so wait on news about Keontae George for your confirmation. But right now, looking at a previous matchup between the Bulls and the Jazz, November 6th. The Bulls absolutely destroyed the Utah Jazz by 17 points, and that total was 243 points in that one. So I understand why the over is set at 224. I would lean towards the over as well. Both of these two teams can put up points, okay? Especially the Utah Jazz, especially at home. Utah Jazz is a very strong team at home. If we're looking at against the spread numbers, okay? Going back to the top here, the Utah Jazz are 22-22 as dogs against the spread, but at home, the Utah Jazz are 20-10 at home. 20-10 at home against the spread. Now, the Bulls aren't slouchy either on the road. They're 17-13 away against the spread, and as favorites, they're 14-12 as favorites. Right now, I think this line is wrong, okay? I'm going to be on the side of the Utah Jazz in this particular game. I think they're the better team, or I just think that they're just as good, and I'm getting the home advantage here. So I'm going to be rocking with the plus 3.5 on the Utah Jazz and the over of 224.5 points, all right? Let's go on to the next game. We have a marquee matchup here between the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 41-21, going up against the Golden State Warriors, who are 32-28, fighting in that play-in range there in the Western Conference. All right, looking at the line, we have a little bit of a telltale sign here, and it's going towards the Warriors here. Okay, minus 175 on the money line for the Warriors. A plus 145 on the money line for the Milwaukee Bucks, with the spread at a 4.5 on both sides. You have a 227.5 for the over-under on the total points in the game as well. All right, so looking at the public bet percentage, if we're checking that right now, we have 59% of the bets, 57% of the money on Golden State. For the point spread, 53% of the bets on Golden State to cover, 76% of the money on Golden State to cover, and then on the over/under, 69% towards the over and 74% of the money towards the over 227.5. All right, I would agree with that so far. So looking at the injury report, we have to wait on news about Giannis Antetokounmpo. The latest report as of right now is that with his left Achilles tendonitis, he is questionable. He missed the game on Monday against the Clippers. So we have to wait on news if he's going to be able to practice today so he can be ready for the game at night against the Golden State Warriors. So stay tuned to news about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Maybe since the line is going higher and higher towards the Warriors, that it's most likely that Giannis will sit this game out. But that's just if you read the line, you can see how things going before news is announced, okay? Because obviously Vegas hops on the line first, they adjust it, then the news comes out, and then everyone tries to pile in on it, all right? Looking at the regular season series right now, this is the second game between these two teams to end the series. Milwaukee beat the Golden State Warriors by 11 points. That total was 247 points in that game. And that's why you can understand why the total is at 227.5, okay? So in this game, we're going to go with Golden State Warriors to bounce back after that embarrassing performance. So we're going across the board here. Give me Warriors money line. Give me Warriors to cover the spread as it is right now before it gets higher at 4.5. And we're going to take the over for the Warriors here, or 227.5 points. All right. They're getting everyone back healthy. They got Andrew Wiggins coming back. They just were embarrassed. This is a spot that you do not want to fade the Warriors. We're hopping on Steph Curry and the crew. Let's go Warriors money line next game. Last but not least, we have the Sacramento Kings going up against the Los Angeles Lakers here. Kings are 34-26. The Lakers are right behind them, 34-29. This is an opportunity to creep up higher in the Western Conference standings here. For looking at the odds, Lakers are at minus 150 on the money line, with the Kings at a plus 125 if you think they're going to win. The point spread is at a 2.5 on both sides, with the total points at 238.5. Okay. Looking at the public bet percentage, 90% of the bets, 95% of the money on the Lakers. 73% of the bets, 66% of the money on the Lakers to cover the 2.5 points. And we got a total split down the middle, 50% each side on the over and under on 238.5. All right. Looking at the injury report, I already checked for you guys. The Lakers, Anthony Davis and Cam Reddish are going to play. They're already probable. And since this game is not a back-to-back, you should expect LeBron James to play as well. All right. If you want to wait, you can confirm that a little bit later. But I'm telling you right now, those three guys are going to be fine to play in this game against the Sacramento Kings at home. Looking at the previous two matchups here between the Kings and the Lakers, we had both games going towards the Kings. One game was a total of 259 points, and the second game was a total of 235 points, with that first game being overtime. Okay, so this is the third matchup here. Lakers have not beaten the Kings yet this season, and this is crunch time for the Lakers. We're going to be on the money line of the Lakers at minus 150. You can stay away from the point line. Just give me the Lakers to win, and if we want the total points, I'm going to go towards the under 238.5. Lakers win by defense, and they missed this number by a couple points. All right, so give me the under 238.5 in this game. And thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. And don't forget about that Patreon, guys. If you want these winning selections, you want my final selections of each night, go to that Patreon link provided down below right now. Get connected and get these future bets as well. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Peace out.